All aboard and welcome to our podcast, Goddess Ships. Tonight's topic, we are more than a month, Black History Celebration. For those of you who are returning, thank you for your continued support and welcome back. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome and we hope to see you again. Goddesses and guys, remember that we are also available wherever you listen to your podcast, including Spotify and iHeartRadio. And you can always watch our beautiful and handsome faces here on YouTube. I am Keely, the Soul Snatching Goddess.
And I am the Fat Goddess, FACKT. And we want to thank you for joining the podcast tonight. We would like for you to like, share, and subscribe and bang the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to be notified when we have new episodes.
Hello, world. I'm Floyd God.
All right. Anybody got shirt cam today? We haven't done that in a while.
I'm still on Levant. Y'all ladies first?
You on that reading rainbow? I said any shirt cam.
Always.
I big you up, ma'am. Black history starts with
Black history starts.
All right. And that's from the Goddess Dope collection?
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I saw at the bottom. All right.
That'd be a good topic for debate. That would be a good topic for debate.
Is it debatable?
It's a good topic.
All right. Mine is an old one. It's I am a statement, I am iconic, and I am legendary.
Well, I wear these shirts all the time. God dang it. But reading Rainbow, take a look. It's in a book.
Yes.
Shout out to LeVar Burton. I'm going to wear these like it's time.
Get your ass in a book. Put your face in it.
Please do. Because we got people online that say they are strong Black women's. And they spell the word courage, C-U-R-A-G-E. And I'm about tired of it. So I think I'm getting ready to start posting a weekly thing where I just write out what the shit people
Wait, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Call on me. Did you say C-U?
Somebody was like, I'm full of courage. C-U-R-A-G-E.
That's courage.
I'm so tired. Sometimes I get so tired.
And they eat scrump on the street.
All that. I just, I'm so tired. Strong Black women. Damn.
So tomorrow is the last day of Black History Month. And in honor of it, we are discussing impactful Black people from our respective states. But before that, I did want to acknowledge a few people in my search of looking up people, finding out a couple of things. So first is Mellody Hobson. She is the first Black woman to be part owner of an NFL team in 2022. She was a part of a $4.6 billion deal to purchase the Denver Broncos. She is also the chairwoman of Starbucks Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Also worth noting is Venus and Serena are the first Black women to become minority stakeholders in the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. In 2022, 18-year-old Jalen Smith became the youngest Black mayor in America as the mayor of Earl, Arkansas. 18.
Watch your back, brother.
Rooting
for you.
And then we have these kids. Megan Pfeiffer is the Sesame Street's first Black female puppeteer.
That's what's up.
She became the voice of Gabrielle, a 6-year-old Black puppet.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and you may have seen her do her ventriloquist act on Showtime at the Apollo and America's Got Talent.
Straight up. Now that's interesting. I never knew. I never thought about it though. Black female puppeteer. That's what's up.
Yep, and she's young. She's super young.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out to the puppet.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into these respective states. So did you want to start out, Fat Goddess, or you want me to start out?
Hey, stop.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, you go on and do your thing.
Stop.
So for my particular city, Elkhart, Indiana, last year we made history by was it 2022? When did they have elections for the mayor?
22.
I'm sorry. I'm like, was it last year? It's 2023. It's moving so fast. So yes, last year we made history by electing the first ever African American mayor in Elkhart. His name is Rod Robertson, and it was amazing because there's never been a Black mayor in the city. And then for I was trying to pick a female, and of course I just picked my grandmother, Ruth Rebecca Riley. She was the first African American social worker for the school system here in Elkhart. I'm a little foggy on the year. I think it was in the 70s, but I'm not 100% sure. It was either the 70s or the 80s. That's my bad because I didn't look it up. I'm not gonna lie, but I know she was the first African American social worker for Elkhart Community Schools.
Okay, that's cool.
That's Elkhart. Okay. Now for the state of Indiana, I'm sure one of the most notable people is Madam C.J. Walker, who created did the hair and the one of them hair things she created. She was from Indianapolis, Indiana. But I found somebody else. Hold on. My thing went down.
Straight in the call.
That I didn't know about. His name is Marshall Major Taylor. And he overcame racial barriers to become a world champion cyclist at the turn of the 20th century. He grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. And there is looks like a mural on the side of the Indiana State Museum in Indianapolis. I'm going to go to Indianapolis just to see that. So those are my two people for Elkhart and my two people for Indiana, just in general.
Okay.
I'm done.
Why you had to say that? Well, so Black Georgians are remarkable inventors, innovators. And we don't just stay in Atlanta and do our greatness. We travel abroad and help other people out as well. So my person that I'm going to start out with is Dr. Lewis T. Wright. He was a surgeon. He was born in LaGrange in 1891. His father was born into slavery but completed medical school and became a doctor and a Methodist preacher. After Wright's father died, his mother married William Fletcher Penn, who was an Atlanta physician who was the first Black person to graduate from Yale School of Medicine. Following in his father and stepfather's footsteps, Wright graduated from Clark University in 1911 and earned his medical degree from Harvard Medical University in 1915. Wright completed his postgraduate residency training at Freedman Hospital in Washington, D.C. While at Freedman's, He demonstrated the efficacy of African Americans of the stick test used to determine an individual's vulnerability to diphtheria. So what that is, because I had to go look it up because I didn't know what that was. It's a sheet of gray matter that covers the back of your throat, making it hard to breathe. The symptoms include sore throat, fever, swollen lymph nodes, and a weakened, acute, and highly contagious bacterial disease.
How can you get that?
It didn't say because it's almost pretty rare right now. Because most countries that have immunizations, they helped develop that, and so a lot of people don't have it anymore.
It says a hard gray sheet in the back of the throat.
Yes, some gray matter. It says matter. It don't need a sheet of gray, a thick gray matter. Yeah. I ain't fooling with you.
I ain't said nothing. Right on, brother.
Your face said it. Your face said it. In 1916, Wright returned to Atlanta and went into practice with his stepfather and joined the NAACP. He also joined the military before the end of World War I and did a tour of duty in France as part of the U.S. Army Medical Corps. While in the military, he developed an intradermal injection for smallpox. So intradermal is like right underneath the dermis, in between. So it's not that deep of a...
Between the dermis and the epidermis.
Yes, right underneath. So then he moved to New York in 1919 and set up a private practice. He became the first Black surgeon for the New York Police Department, the first African-American appointed to the surgical staff at a segregated New York hospital, and the first Black doctor to head an integrated public hospital. The first to experiment on humans with antibiotic, now I got to get this right, chlorotetracycline, and one of the first Black surgeons admitted to the American College of Surgeons. He was influential in his medical research and advocacy for racial justice in medicine, as well as decades-long leadership role in the NAACP. He died in 1952.
What was his name again?
His name was Dr. Lewis T. Wright.
Damn, brother. You sure he wasn't Jamaican? He had a whole bunch of jobs. Dang.
Hey, that's what you do when you're from Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, dude.
My next person was Dr. Retha Clark King. She is a chemist. She was born to sharecroppers in Southwest Georgia in 1938. As a child, King and her family moved to Moultrie, Georgia, where she attended public school. She graduated high school for Negro youth as the class valedictorian. She secured a scholarship to Clark Atlanta University. And at Clark, she earned her bachelor's degree in science with concentrations in chemistry and mathematics in 1958. After receiving a fellowship from the Woodrow Wilson National Fellowship Foundation, she attended the University of Chicago, where she obtained a master's degree in science in 1960 and a PhD in physical chemistry in 1963. King went on to work at the National Bureau of Standards, becoming the organization's first Black female chemist. While at the Bureau,
I just say yes.
Yeah. While at the Bureau, she invented a coiled tube that allowed fuel traveling through it to cool instead of exploding. Her invention was crucial to the space race. She also authored a 1967 paper on oxygen difluoride, which is a key ingredient in rocket fuel that has since become a fundamental component. In 1968, she moved to New York and worked as an assistant professor at the City University of New York. In 1970, she became the associate dean for the School of Mathematics and Natural Sciences and the associate dean for academic affairs in 1974. 3 years later, she received her master's in business administration from Columbia University and became the president of Metropolitan State University in Minnesota that same year. In 1988, General Mills hired her as the vice president of General Mills Corporation the president and the executive director of General Mills Foundation. And she worked there until her retirement in 2002. And then she started back working in 2011 at a health system as a corporate director.
Okay. She's a Jamaican too.
Wow.
Mini job. Mini job.
So my last person is Dr. Mary Logan Reddick. She is a neuroembryologist. So she was born in 1914 in Atlanta, and she graduated high school early and attended Spelman College at 15. She graduated with her bachelor's degree in science in 1935. The Rockefeller Foundation awarded her a fellowship in 1937. The award allowed her to pursue her master's degree in science at Clark Atlanta University. Reddick's master thesis centered on understanding how fertilized eggs become a complex organism. The research gave a further understanding to human fetal development. At 21, in that same year, she obtained her master's degree. Reddick became a biology instructor at Spelman, and in 1939, she began teaching biology at nearby Morehouse College, becoming the first female biology instructor at the school. Reddick received her second Rockefeller Education Fellowship and attended Radcliffe College, now a part of Harvard University. At Radcliffe, Reddick's research focused on tissue transplantation and transplanting tissues and the nerve cell differentiation in chick embryos to gain insight how much the brain depends on connective adjacent tissues, which is a lot. She earned a second master's in 1943 and a PhD in 44 at Radcliffe. After her fellowship ended, she returned to Morehouse to teach. While at Morehouse, she became the first female full professor and the first female biology department chair. In 1952, Reddick became the first African-American woman to receive a Ford Foundation Science Fellowship. With the fellowship, she traveled to England and studied embryology at Cambridge University. Following the return to the U.S., she became a faculty member at Atlanta University, which is now Clark Atlanta University, and held that position until her death in 1966.
What?
That gets it in Georgia, just so y'all
know. See? Well.
They do a lot.
Well.
We do a lot everywhere.
Big things popping.
Well.
All right, that's me. I'm done.
Oh, it's my turn? Okay.
It's your turn, sir.
Well, I guess I'll be representing for the great state of Illinois.
Your city.
And
your state.
My name is Great Chicagoans. Now, I must add this quick little fun fact. A lot of y'all know about the Great Migration, where a lot of our people from the South moved to places like Chicago or Midwest states. So a lot of people from my city actually originated from Southern states, but we all know that's because of slave trade, things like that, generational stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? So these are examples of people who came from nothing and became something. And I tried to find people that even I didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? And I tried to represent for the brothers. But I'm an equal opportunist. So I got ladies and men in here. Now, one lady I didn't know about, but I get to that because she's like the greatest thing ever. Anyway, so my first person is named Earl Wiley Renfro. He is considered one of the fathers of orthodontics. Excuse me. Was the first brother to head of the department at the University of Illinois Chicago College of Dentistry. He was born in 1907. He went to Austin Sexton Grammar School in Woodlawn and then to Bowen High School, which is still around today. He was the only black student in his class at both schools. Go forward. He also attended Crane Junior College and then went on to UIC, putting himself through college by working at the post office, which I had another one about the Pullman Porters, but I'm going to say that for another time. He ranked first in his class We graduated in 1931 and received his license to practice general dentistry in the following year. Renfro also helped end the segregated practice of only allowing dental students to practice on patients of the same race. In 1942, he received his master's degree in orthodontics from USC, making him the first black dentist in Chicago and perhaps the United States to become an orthodontist, according to this journal. After the Pearl Harbor attacks, Renfro volunteered for the Army Air Corps. He previously received his pilot's license, which also made him one of the first black people in the country to do so, but he could not receive clearance for flight duty in World War II because of age limits. He actually was stationed in Fort, and I'm going to try to pronounce this, Huachuca, Arizona, and served as the chief of the dental service. He opened a practice in the Loop, which is downtown Chicago, after returning to Chicago from the war and resumed teaching at UIC, where he was appointed as the chair of UIC's orthodontics department in '66. He was the first to obtain such a rank at UIC and in the country. The World War II veteran lent his expertise also to other countries, writing textbooks while teaching in Brazil. He also, they also named a facility after him, according to UIC School of Dentistry, that honored him with a Distinguished Alumnus Award in '88. So that was my first person. Oh, and he was, when he passed away in 2000, he was buried at Arlington National Cemetery with full military honors, So for those people who be all,
That's right. That's right. Thanks for his service.
Now, of course, I'm an equal opportunist.
Mm-hmm.
So I rep for the brothers, but I have to put the sisters in there too. So this young lady is named Margaret Burroughs. Margaret Burroughs was a teacher, poet, activist, and artist. She's also well known for being the founder of the Ebony Museum of Negro Art History and Art, which you all know as the DuSable Museum in Chicago. Today, you know it as DuSable Museum. She was from Louisiana, but she grew up in Inglewood. She wrote and illustrated several children's books and poetry collections while painting, sculpting, and printmaking. All of her work deeply rooted in the Black experience. Burroughs' husband, Charles Burroughs, and a small group of organizers started what became the DuSable Museum out of the first floor of the Burroughs home at 3806 South Michigan. For those from the crib, y'all know that's the low end. That's where the brownstones used to be at in 1961. It was across the street from the Southside Community Arts Center, which Burroughs helped establish when she was just 22 years old. At the time, Ms. Burroughs said it was the only museum that grew out of the indigenous Black community. According to DuSable, it was renamed in her honor of DuSable in 1968. I fucking love this lady. Mary Harold Washington named February 1st Dr. Margaret Burroughs Day, according to history makers. She was also inducted into the Chicago Women's Hall of Fame in '89 and Chicago Literary Hall of Fame in 2015. So she passed away in 2010. She was 95. So these good Black folks, they live long. But if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even have this Black museum, which to me personally was the blueprint for all these other Black museums that you're seeing around the country, because this has been around a long time. Now, of course, I mentioned the illustrious, great Dr. Mayor Harold Washington. So I wouldn't be a Chicagoan if I didn't mention the great Harold Washington, who was our mayor of Chicago from 1983 to 1987. Now, it's just I'm going to run a few bullet points, and then it's just a lot.
I have a quick question before you do that. Is the museum in the same place as it started? Because I know it said
No. The museum is on 56th Street now.
Okay.
When it started, so in Chicago, it's a place called the Low End. It's like the 20 blocks, 30 blocks, 40 blocks, 50 blocks, 60 blocks, right? So like on 38th Street, it was what was called these brownstones. You know what a brownstone is?
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, they call it different stuff.
Yeah.
So these brownstones back in the day, like a lot of Black people used to own these areas. She started the museum out of that brownstone.
Okay.
But now it's on 56th Street. So it's like it's in the middle of a major park. It's called Midway Plaisance, but it's really part of a bigger park. So yeah, it's on 56th Street. Okay. Getting back to Brother Harold. I'm just going to list a few points because there's so much about Harold Washington. I just want to first and foremost say that myself, just like a lot of other folks from our city, we believe that Harold Washington was assassinated, but that is a conversation for another time. He did not die of a heart attack. We believe that something happened. They did something to the brother food. He was doing too much for our city. Anyway, Brother Harold Washington was our 51st mayor of Chicago. He defeated Jane Byrne, who wasn't here. but yeah. And he was elected to a second term as well. I'm gonna just kind of run through it real quick. I'll give y'all some of this. He is educated at DuSable High School, the tie-in right there. He was also enrolled in Civilian Conservation Corps in 1939. Graduated from Roosevelt College, which is now known as Roosevelt University. Graduated from Northwestern University School of Law in 1952. I mean, like, he was just a true Chicagoan. He started his career as assistant city prosecutor in 1954 in Chicago. Went on to be a state representative, then a senator. He served in Congress from 81 to 83, and then he was elected as our first African-American mayor in 1983. These are some of the accomplishments that he did. And, you know, if you look deeper into this, you'll see why he was a gift, but a curse to those who weren't with the progression of our people in Chicago. He created the Ethics Commission, increased the number of underrepresented groups in our city government and in city contracts, which was a major deal in Chicago. For a very long time, a lot of the contracts went to people of Caucasian descent, and a lot of the brothers and sisters who had businesses couldn't really get on. And in Chicago, getting a city contract is like a real big deal. It's very lucrative, even to this day. So he opened the government with a Freedom of Information executive order. He led the fight for ward redistricting, more Black and Hispanic representation, which is basically, it's kind of a form of like redlining. They just actually in Chicago, one of our dirty aldermen got together with some people and they redistricted the place about 10 years ago. So it's kind of funky how they did that, but that's another conversation another time. Open the city's budget process for public input and participation, where more of the people had a say in how business was ran in our city. More people had a voice. He achieved a more balanced economic development between neighborhoods and downtown. For a long time in Chicago, it was downtown and it was everything else. He made it where there was a bridge in terms of the economic diversity, where you could be from the South Side, and if you make something happen downtown in terms of business, networking, whatever the case may be. He encouraged neighborhood festivals and projects. Like, he the reason the Bud Billiken Fest still going. Like, he really encouraged a lot of our community celebrations for our people, especially. Like, he was one of the mayors that were like, I was a kid, but I remember he was in our neighborhood. Like, he wasn't no poop butt ass.
Not just at election time.
We had a restaurant called Army and Lou's on 75th where all the famous Black folks would go after Gladys's got closed. You could go in there and see Harold Washington. Like, he was in the hood like he was one of the guys. Like it's just real. So he created a citywide cultural plan. He guided efforts to build a new central library, which helped revitalize the South Loop. So that's just a few of his accomplishments. He also led the movement for Illinois' Dr. Martin Luther King holiday bill. So that's just some of his accomplishments. So that's the great Harold Washington. If we have a little time, I got a couple of quick, just fun fact tidbits about some other folk, real quick and real short. Okay, so I wanted to give a shout out to a brother named Robert Sing Stack Abbott. He was the founder and the publisher of what you may have heard of in Chicago as the Chicago Defender. It's one of the oldest Black newspapers in Chicago that's still going strong today. He also, the Defender newspaper, played a crucial role in the Great Migration by posting job ads for work in northern states. So he was very integral with, when I spoke about the Great Migration earlier, I was trying to do that to add us all together. And a lot of our people were moving from the South to the North for better opportunities. They were looking to this newspaper to find a job. And this is how a lot of our ancestors, like our great-grandmas and grandmas, ended up getting up there and being able to be somewhat prosperous. Okay. So that was Robert Sing Stack Abbott, Defender newspaper. If you're ever in Chicago, you pick one up. My homegirl, Danielle, actually write for them. And that's like so crazy. We grew up together. Anyway, I'm going to give you a couple more. A brother named Albert Raby. Albert Raby was a former Chicago high school public school teacher. He worked tirelessly to bring Dr. Martin Luther King and other Southern civil rights movements to Chicago in 1966. He was an activist that was instrumental in the fight against school segregation and housing inequality, the fights which still continue to this day. He was a founding member of the Teachers for Integrated Schools, the Coordinating Council for Community Organizations, and an active member of the Peace Corps. He dedicated his life to enacting real change at the heart of Chicago. They named the school after him, but I think the name might have changed now, Raby High School. But that's just these people that you may never heard of that really had impacts not only in Chicago, but in other places as well. Let me just give you, I got one more. I have to end it this way. So let me give y'all my final person and I'll make it short. So one of my heroes And one of the greatest men I have ever learned about was Fred Hampton. I think Fred Hampton was like one of the greatest brothers that ever lived. And he was, so Malcolm X used to say that revolution is bloodshed. Revolution means bloodshed. Like, we could talk the talk, we could protest, you know what I'm saying? We can run our mouth and all that, but when it's time to get down, it's going to be bloodshed. And Fred Hampton died for the cause of our people. So he joined the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party in November of 1968. He rose quickly to leadership position, becoming deputy chairman. This man organized rallies. As y'all may well know, he had free breakfast programs. He even negotiated a peace pact amongst rival gangs, which was the Black Peace Stone Rangers and the Devil's Disciples at the time, which was a very major thing to do because in our city, gangs really ran shit back then. And to be able to bring these people together when you had outsiders saying that we were just savages destroying our community, when that wasn't the case, which I feel like I should have did something about the gangs in Chicago, because there's a lot of stereotypes about what the gangs really were about. And in the beginning, organizations like the Black Stone Rangers, organizations like the Devil's Disciples, organizations like the Vice Lords, which are called the Almighty Vice Lord Nation back in the day, organizations like the Cobra Stones, these organizations were actually integral to helping our communities. These organizations were actually working hand in hand with the Black Panther Party to do free breakfast programs. A lot of people don't know that the government actually gave a grant to the Black Stone Rangers and the Devil's Disciples to teach Black people how to read. It was called the Woodline Project. You can look it up. And they used that very money and funding to turn the tables on those two men, which ultimately got them locked up for other charges. That's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, Fred Hampton also formed the city's first Rainbow Coalition before Jesse. Everybody know I'm not a fan of Jesse Jackson. Anyway. An alliance of the Panthers with other groups around racial, ethnic, and ideological affiliation. As y'all know, Fred Hampton was gunned down in his home. His wife survived. It was a setup. So I just want to say rest in power, Fred Hampton, one of my heroes. And that's my city. Those are my people from my city. Very proud of my city. And, thank y'all for letting me share that, because that's a big deal for the kid. So proud.
Yeah, it's a lot of us out there that do a lot of things, make moves, big things. And
sorry.
Go ahead.
I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
I would just like to say, this y'all may not know of it. This is my mama. Her name was Denise Richardson, and she worked for Chicago Housing Authority, and she was one of the very first Black directors of the Black female directors of the Chicago Housing Authority. She also went on to Pittsburgh and became the first Black female executive director for Allegheny County's Housing Authority. My mother did a lot of work in organizations like NEHA. She actually worked for a company called HRDI, where she taught deaf people how to do janitorial services so they can empower themselves. My mother is a very strong Black woman, and she always found herself as being the only Black woman in situations. And people used to try to really fuck with her about a lot of stuff, but her motto was always skill overrides hate. And that just meant that when you do your job and you do your job correctly and you live one way, you're going to always win. And she always won. So to me, that's an influential Black person from my city. I just wanted to make her honorable mention. You know what I'm saying? Because mama. So right on, Ma, if you're watching, you're bad, mama. I ain't gonna cut.
Shut your mouth.
That's right. So thank y'all for letting me share that.
Well, that was good. I didn't know that. That was cool about your mom.
I want to go to that museum.
DuSable? It's right on 56. Here, let me give you the full address.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
You never heard of DuSable Museum?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, hold on.
I had neither. That's why I was asking, like, if it was still in the same place or.
Yeah, it's been there for years. I haven't been. So I have to say this. I feel bad. The last time I went was a very long time ago. My Uncle Derek took me a long time ago. The address is 740 East 56th Place in Chicago, which is basically Washington Park. But when you go through, so like Washington Park kind of crazy. When you go through Washington Park, it's a place called Midway Place Farms. But it's where this big ass fountain is. And the old men used to go fishing in there. I don't know if they still do it no more, but they used to put fish in the fountain and in the creeks, and you can find an Old Man Fish. You always get a good story, but you drive through there and then you'll find DuSable. So what's up? I give you the hours.
How do you spell it?
DuSable. It's actually named after Jean Baptiste Point DuSable, which is the Haitian brother who basically discovered the city of Chicago. So
you said B as in boy, L-E?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And from what I'm looking at the new hours is Wednesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday and Tuesday they close.
11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
DuSable Museum. And I'm telling you, like, you'll always find some elder that'll tell you some good stories. I don't know how true this is, but they told me that Chicago is called Shikigi, but I'll talk about that another time. I don't know, man. An old person told me that. I don't know how true it was, but I don't know. But Jean Baptiste Point DuSable was one of the first American settlers. He was from Haiti, and he actually discovered what we know now as Chicago. So he was a brother, of course. So shout out to Haiti. Please send aid to Haiti because they trying to kill them. They keep killing them folks. But anyway, Chicago. DuSable Museum. And donate too. Donate now because they need donations. They need help. It ain't like popular like nothing against the other black museums, but like if you really want some, for lack of a better word, like grassroots, down to earth stuff you don't know, the not so popular stuff but was impactful, you're gonna get it from DuSable, and you're gonna run into some elders either in or around there that can add on to your experience. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
It's just inevitable. So yeah, DuSable Museum.
Okay. Good thing to know.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have one for us tonight, ma'am?
I love you, but
Uh-huh.
I love you, but black people are everywhere.
So
because you get people saying that it's black people that, like, even to this day in 2023, I have people that say, you live in Indiana? Are you from Indiana? And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? We all over the country. Like, we're all over the world, of course, but we live in the United States. So I'm just saying. And just
recently,
you know,
there are some areas that we are a little scarce in, though.
Okay,
it ain't Indiana. It ain't Indiana, but I'm just saying.
But we're in every state. We may not be in every city of every state, but we're in every state.
We are. You might have to do like this to find. Oh, there go one.
Need to have like, you know how they used to have an almanac.
Sound like them people.
I'm not. Listen, there's some places that we are far and few between. I ain't saying we not there, but we far and few between.
Yeah, a lot of these towns in Georgia. God damn,
we're far and few between.
You know, remember how they used to have a Black People Almanac back in the day, where it was a book that showed you every black business, a place you could go to around the country. We need to reenact something like that. We need to have like a black card.
There's an app, but it's for, I want to say it's just for restaurants, but it's only in certain cities. It's not for everywhere. Right. So it would probably be great to do it for.
We need a call. Like we need a sound that can be made that only black people can do. And when you hear it, you know it's black people there. Like, whoa, like something like that. You just need like a call or something. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like that song, Hootie Hoo.
Something that only black people know about. So like if you in some bitch, where the fuck we at? And you be like, whoa. Somebody be like, whoa. Come to your aid and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. We need some universal codes around here, people. We need some universal codes.
But the problem with that is we ain't together enough for the universal code yet, because somebody gonna tell.
Yeah, you know how it go. Yeah. That's why Nat Turner had to kill some folk. That's why Harriet couldn't let everybody go. And you know how that go. So
she look like she's standing on your shoulders.
She on this damn shell. Like she just be doing the most, man.
She said she's gonna be seen tonight. She look like she just standing on it.
It says Black History Month. How are we gonna end it with a black cat? This cat is definitely a woman. Believe me, this is a woman cat. Believe
that I'm gonna be seen.
What does that mean?
She's definitely
that
a
mean?
woman. She got woman tendencies. She's definitely a
Like,
woman.
what you
She
mean?
won't
What
make
you
sure
mean?
she sing. She won't make sure she sing.
And she
She
don't
don't
listen to shitty
don't
motherfucking
listen to
things.
shit a motherfucker say.
Really? That's
Do what
women.
the fuck she
Don't
want to
listen to
do.
nothing.
You damn right that's how y'all is. I said, I ain't scared. I say I feel. Don't
We
listen
don't
to shit.
we don't listen to nothing y'all say.
Nah, shit. If I tell you go the fuck upstairs, you don't. Nigga can't watch the football game. Can't do shit. I said it. She knows she ain't supposed to be on the back of this chair. But she's on the back of this chair.
And look, and then she
Y'all own it,
peeking
too.
over the side. She like, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
I be on
She
the
like
phone.
what
I
a
be on,
world.
right,
She
I
like
be
what a
on the
world.
phone. I be on the phone. She be like, "Who this woman?
Mhm.
Who this woman?"
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. She knows she
I
ain't supposed
told
to
you
be.
this here our juke joint.
She's funny as hell. I call her name. She only answer when she wants to. Mimi, come eat. Okay. Mimi, get off of there. Bullshit.
Sound just like a man.
Like you ain't said nothing.
She ain't shit. She'll be 4 in June.
Mm.
Fucking up. Big fucking up. No, she's supposed to be up here.
She said you can't say nothing to her right now because you won't. She
She
know
said,
when
who
to act. She know when to do what she need to do.
You full of shit.
Who gonna check me? Who gonna check me and get me up off the chair?
Shit.
She said not right now. Now when you get off, after he say, all right, y'all, then it's time me to pew, pew.
Just ran upstairs.
Yeah.
So yeah. We ain't nobody say nothing. We ain't get no comments tonight. We happy for the little folk that showed up and listened to us. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Sure
most
want to sing a Negro spiritual for you. Speak, Lord. Thank you so much for coming out and something.
definitely. Okay. This that new Negro.
It's that new Negro. Speak, Lord. Thank you for coming out. Don't need about 20 more of you motherfuckers up here. Damn.
They'll be viewed by in another hour.
I do notice that, like, after the show, it'd be like 10 more, 15 more people. They'd be like,
Yeah, they go watch.
let's see what them motherfuckers talking about tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, they ain't talking about no freaky shit tonight, huh? They on some real shit tonight. Huh? Ain't talking about no freaky shit, booty shit, shit this, your ass that.
Well,
we talking about nasty shit. Y'all be listening all night.
Don't they? And comment, they be coming hard too. But
yeah, me too. I like to stick stuff in my ass. And we see we talk about some real shit. You can't find a motherfucker on here. Say something about some booty. They'll be like, yeah, me too. I like it. Yeah.
Maybe that's how we need to start off and then switch.
Every show, we should just start off like this.
Absolutely not.
We're gonna let you play your song, your theme. That's gonna be the new theme music.
Why did Silence of the Lambs come on this weekend?
Oh,
and somebody called me and was like, yo, your movie on. And I was like, okay. And I went upstairs and I got my robe and I came downstairs. Now I ain't gonna do the lipstick. I ain't with that. He went a little too far with the lipstick. But when he got into
everything, yeah. Oh.
Damn, boy, I'm telling you, that is the greatest shit ever. That I love that shit. You know how much confidence you gotta have to be like, I know you want to fuck me.
Yeah, because I would fuck
me too.
Yeah,
I feel him. If I could, I would. Blow my back out if I could to myself.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh, welcome back.
See, our ancestors fought and died for us to have the freedom to express ourselves any way that we like. See how it all tied back together to Black history?
That's correct. You brought it right on back.
See?
Yeah. And on that note, all hearts and minds clear.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, even though this is the end of Black History Month. Remember that teaching begins at home and our history is 365 and 66 on the leap year. Do not confine our legacy to a month, nor to the select few that society chooses to discuss.
Man,
Right.
Are a plethora.
You know what?
Yeah.
I forgot. Maybe we'll do it next week. I read something recently as to why Black History Month is in February. And it don't have nothing to do about being a short month. It's something about Fred Douglass. I just can't remember what the hell it was. But it was something about Fred Douglass. I think his birthday is in February or something.
It could be. It's
But it has nothing to do with
somebody's birthday or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I will interject this real quick before we go. Black History Month is all year, but remember, your first Black heroes are your parents. So whether it's your single mother, single father, or you got both parents in the home, your grandma, the elders in your neighborhood that's really trying to give you some good game, that's what Black history started at. So you ain't always got to look to the big wigs and the people in your books. You know, look to the people that's right around you, because they are Black history too, because their lives and their plights are the reason you able to do the stuff you do, like wear tight ass clothes or do goofy shit. I'm just keeping it real. So yeah.
And also, a lot of them have some amazing stories that you would never know anything about if you just took the time to listen to them, because they want to tell it. They want somebody to know the story. And
turn your phones off. Turn your game off. You got grandparents. If you're blessed to still have grandparents today, please, I urge you, cut that technology off and sit down and just listen to them. Get them a cup of milk or something, whatever they like, and sit and listen to them. They'll change your life with some of the stories. I wish my grandma was here to tell me some of them stories again. So, for real, you got Black history walking amongst you. You ain't got to go look in no book for no dead folks. Although, rest in peace to the ancestors, we got living Black history walking all around here. Don't waste your time and lose.
Most definitely. All right. Well, make sure that you send your I love you butts to the Fat Goddess, and that's at FACKT goddess@gmail.com. It will also be in the description below. And that will conclude our show for this evening. Thank you for joining us as we continue to give you the content you deserve. Feel free to keep the conversation going below and comment, because y'all ain't comment tonight. So comment. And if y'all got some Black history people, put them in the comments so people can look them up and see something about them.
Little people, hit my email at floydgod24@gmail. Little people, please hit me up. Birthday time almost here. Hit me up.
Yeah, he need to plan, get that planned out. Again, thank you for watching. If you have not, make sure to thumbs up this video, like, share, tell a friend, and bang the notification bell so that you're notified of our episode.
You just froze. Like, you remember Reevy Jackson on Centipede? You was like, you remember that? Centipede. Oh, sorry. You just froze though. You was like,
that is horrible. Horrible. Just horrible.
It was a cool freeze, though. It was a cool freeze.
Well, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Share and bang the notification bell so that you are made aware when we have new episodes. We will see you next week on Monday night, 9 p.m. here on Goddess Ships, because every ship matters.
All ships aren't the same.
And life is lived on ships.
All right. Peace. Good night.
Power to the people.